Florencio Tumbocon Miraflores and Maria Lourdes Martin Miraflores versus Office of the Ombudsman and Field Investigation Office. GR number 238103 and 238223, January 6, 2020. The facts of the case are as follows. The petitioner Florencio Tumbocon Miraflores and Maria Lourdes Martin Miraflores were public officers charged with violating Section 7 of Republic Act 3019 or the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act in relation to Section 8 of RA 6713 or the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. Now, the Office of the Ombudsman conducted an investigation based on the petitioner's statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth, or SALNs, from 2001 to 2009. Now, the Field Investigation Office, FIO, alleged that the petitioners amassed wealth disproportionate to their legitimate incomes. Now, the FIO found inconsistencies in the declared acquisition cost of several real properties, undervaluation of certain vehicles, and non-declaration of other assets and overstatements of liabilities. For example, the declared acquisition cost of the petitioner's Quezon City residential property was significantly lower than the actual cost, and several motor vehicles were either undervalued or not declared at all. The petitioners also failed to declare the value of shares of stock in the Rural Bank of Ibahay, which Maria Lourdes Martin Miraflores held since 1989. Now, in their defense, the petitioners claim that their assets and increase in net worth were legitimate, coming from sources such as farms, fish ponds, and bank interests, which were consistently declared in their SALNs. They argued that they had acquired some properties through loans and inherited assets, and that their adult children's earnings were also factors in their wealth. Moreover, they contended that their SALNs were prepared in good faith, and that any errors or omissions were unintentional. Now, despite their arguments, the Ombudsman found probable cause for their criminal charges and for the forfeiture of unlawfully acquired properties. On the motion for reconsideration, the Ombudsman reduced the charges against Florencio from 9 counts to 4 due to prescription, but upheld the finding of probable cause. So the issue in this case is whether or not a public officer's failure to declare certain assets, the undervaluation and overvaluation of properties in their statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth can be considered a violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, which can lead to the forfeiture of unlawfully acquired properties. So the court held that yes, a public officer's failure to declare certain assets, the undervaluation or overvaluation of properties in their statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth can be considered a violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, which can lead to the forfeiture of unlawfully acquired properties. Now, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Office of the Ombudsman, affirming the findings of probable cause against the petitioners. The court ruled that the petitioners either undervalued, overvalued, or failed to declare several properties in their SALNs for the years 2001 to 2009. The court stressed that the petitioners' omissions and undervaluation violated Section 7 of RA 3019 and Section 8 of RA 6713. Now, pursuant to Section 7 of RA 3019, referring to the true and detailed declaration requirement, it provides that every public officer must file a true, detailed, and sworn statement of assets and liabilities, including the sources of their income. Any undervaluation, overvaluation, or omission of assets constitutes a violation. Further, according to Section 8 of RA 6713, the SALN must accurately reflect the real properties, personal properties, and liabilities of a public officer. Any misstatement or omission, regardless of intent, can lead to both criminal and administrative liability. In addition, according to RA 1379, assets acquired by public officers that are disproportionate to their lawful income are presumed to have been unlawfully acquired and may be forfeited in favor of the state. Finally, probable cause in criminal cases refers to the existence of facts and circumstances that would lead a reasonable mind to believe that a crime has been committed and that the accused is likely guilty. In this present case, the Office of the Ombudsman found probable cause based on the discrepancies in the petitioner's SALNs, undervalued properties, undeclared vehicles, and inconsistent liabilities. Therefore, the petitioner's defense of good faith in preparing their SALNs were inefficient to negate their liability. So as public officers are required to submit true, detailed, and accurate SALNs, hence the failure to declare motor vehicles and other assets, including the overstatement of liabilities, provided enough basis for the Ombudsman to find probable cause for the forfeiture of unlawfully acquired properties under RA 1379.